The left high kick, that's all you had to say, and opponents froze. Mirko Cro Cop Filipović was the executioner of MMA, a living nightmare whose kicks could end a career in seconds. He was a national hero, a pride legend, and one of the most feared men to ever step into a ring. But today, at 50 years old, Cro Cop's life is a far cry from the glory days. His body is broken, his face rebuilt through surgery, and a near-fatal stroke has left him a shadow of the warrior he once was. This is the tragic story of how one of the most terrifying fighters in history now fights his toughest battle, survival itself. Mirko Filipović was born in 1974 in Filipović, a small Croatian town scarred by war and hardship. His childhood was not one of bright lights and cheering fans, but of discipline, poverty, and violence all around. Croatia in the 1980s was part of a Yugoslavia teetering on collapse. Political tension, street fights, and the looming shadow of war were part of daily life, and Mirko grew up right in the middle of it. As a boy, he found his first love not in sport, but in action films. He watched Bruce Lee and Jean-Claude Van Damme with wide eyes, dreaming of one day becoming a fighter himself. But unlike most kids, Mirko acted on that dream. He strung up a homemade punching bag in his parents' garage and spent hours pounding away at it, perfecting kicks and punches that were once just fantasies from a VHS tape. By his teenage years, Mirko had joined local gyms, training in boxing, taekwondo, and karate. He was obsessed with sharpening his body into a weapon. At the same time, the Yugoslav wars erupted, and Mirko's training took on a darker edge. He wasn't just fighting for glory anymore, he was fighting in a world where violence was survival. At 19, Mirko joined the Croatian Anti-Terrorist Unit, an elite police special forces squad known as Luchko. He trained alongside hardened soldiers, sharpening not only his combat skills, but his mental toughness. It was here he earned the nickname that would define him forever, Cro Cop, short for Croatian Cop. By his early 20s, Mirko was already becoming a sensation in kickboxing. He had an amateur boxing record of 48 wins with 31 knockouts, but it was his kicking power that made him terrifying. His left high kick became infamous, so lethal that it earned a chilling mantra from fans and fighters alike. Right leg, hospital; left leg, cemetery. Mirko's rise wasn't just about sport, it was about identity. He was representing a battered nation, fighting not just opponents, but the ghosts of war and poverty. Every punch, every kick was infused with the intensity of a man who had already seen too much of life's cruelty. And soon, the world was about to see just how dangerous Cro Cop could become. By the late 1990s, Mirko Cro Cop had made his mark in K1 kickboxing. Many of his contemporaries, Wanderlei Silva, Rampage Jackson, Fedor Emelianenko, have also faded into obscurity or battled their own demons. Cro Cop has joined them, living a quieter, more fragile existence, haunted by the wars he fought and the price he paid. Interviews with him now carry a somber tone. He smiles, he jokes, but his body language tells the truth. He is tired. His life is a daily battle with aches, with memory lapses, with the psychological scars of violence. He has spoken about insomnia, about restless nights where he replays his fights in his head, wondering if it was all worth it. For fans, the image of Cro Cop at 50 is heartbreaking. The man who once embodied fear itself is now fragile, human, and vulnerable. His tragic reality is not one of disgrace, but of the inevitable consequence of giving everything to a sport that takes and takes until nothing is left. Mirko Cro Cop Filipović's story is not just about triumph or tragedy, it is about the price of greatness. He is remembered as one of the most feared strikers in combat sports history, the man whose left high kick was as dreaded as a bullet. His reign in pride, his Grand Prix championship, his countless highlight reel knockouts, these will never be erased. But his legacy carries another, darker lesson. Cro Cop showed the world what happens when a man gives everything, body, mind, and soul, to fighting. His stroke, his facial reconstruction, his lingering symptoms of CTE are not isolated tragedies. They are the reality that so many fighters face when the lights go out. Cro Cop's body is a reminder that violence leaves scars no no surgery can erase. Among fans, his name is still spoken with reverence. The phrase right leg, hospital, left leg, cemetery echoes across highlight reels, a grim mantra for one of the most dangerous weapons in combat sports.